What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in reality, whatever. Period.
Period.
Ash Lee, Hollis, baby. How you doing? Well,
Period.
not how you doing. How's the queen doing?
The queen is doing good in her castle with her throne and her
with
lawyer
her law
scales,
degree,
bitch, with her gavel and her robe and her white wig. Yes,
with her veto win and her HOH win and her law degree.
Period. And her
$750,000. Oh. I can't believe
happy.
it.
I'm so happy. I'm so
God.
happy. Like, this is such an amazing win for the show, for an archetype like Ashley. Like, I really, really enjoy this win just for the future of this game. Like, this is crazy.
This is insane, y'all. Do y'all know? I was sitting here damn near sleep. I was like lethargic. And then I got up here and I was like, wait, Ashley fucking won. Me and Lee haven't even really like talked about it yet. Because bitch, I was at the oh my God, this is crazy that she did this, honestly. It was literally impossible a week ago. 7 days ago, it was like, this isn't even, I guess Morgan's gotta win. Girl,
I went back to our old recap and I saw that we were saying like we're gonna give her the 5 on our most recent recap because we're not sure she has the win equity. And I think that's what's so annoying about like the editing of the jury segments, because they do it in such a way to where it's supposed to throw us off. But I wish like that they would release an unedited raw footage to us after the season, because I really want to know what the jurors are thinking. And in the segments, we almost got no justification, I feel like, as to why Ashley would have deserved to win, let alone the editing of her in the episodes. Like, I feel like we have back-to-back winners where the winner is slightly under-edited, and it doesn't make any sense to a lot of the casuals why this person deserved to win. Like, Chelsea is an all-time winner. She is equivalent, in my opinion, to someone like Derek, Dan, Dr. Will, and she will likely not receive that same like respect because of how they edited her in the show. And I think same with Ashley. It is so annoying because I think that the producers themselves did not think there was a chance Ashley could win. In fact, what I kind of gleaned from the jury segment was that they were using this to justify why Vince may have lost. And I think the word bitter jury got thrown around a lot, which is why a lot of people are now trying to say it's a bitter jury, which this has nothing to do with a jury being bitter. Like, this is all down to Vince not having as good as a game as people are expecting him to have, just because he has the competition wins. Just because, and I think so many people are so focused on someone winning comps as a reason as to why they deserve to win the game of Big Brother. And I love people like Ashley and Taylor Hale, because they show that you don't need 10 to 15 comp wins to prove that you deserve to win this game. At the end of the day, Vince had 4 HOHs, and each and every single last one of them were influenced or ran by someone else that he was not fully working with, not fully trusting, and he ended up making a decision that he did not want at the end of the day. He did not want Zay to go home on his first HOH. He wanted to renom Rachel and did not renom Ashley. He wanted to do several things. He did not want to put up Lauren. He put up Lauren and almost allowed her to go home. There were so many instances in this game that Vince did not have control over his own destiny and what he needed to do. And Ashley did not have that. Ashley was in control of her own story the entire time, and Vince was not. So I think a lot of people are trying to claim it's a bitter jury, that maybe she didn't deserve it. In my opinion, you just weren't paying attention. If you're trying to call her a floater as an insult, you're double stupid, because of being a floater is not an insult, but that also was not Ashley's game. She's not a floater. So I need you to learn kind of what the aspect of Big Brother is before you go around saying that she is a bad winner. I think people, there's a lot of people who just assume because you're Black, of course, you're going to root for another Black person, as if that negates her win. And it does not negate her win at all. At the end of the day, I'm rooting for her because she is a good winner. She's a winner that I wanted to see, and because she's a Black woman. All of those things are true at one time. And it doesn't take away from the fact that she deserves to win this sitting next to Vince. I think if we're encapsulating the entire final three, I would have said Morgan was the best player and deserved to win. But if we're sitting in the final two, Ashley won it. She took Vince. She 100% deserved to beat that man. And I think it's because, like I said, she was in control of her own journey the entire time, whereas Vince was not at the end of the day. And I just feel like if you're automatically going to just look at Ashley and think about Showergate and maybe think of some of the funnier moments she had on feeds and not actually pay attention to the game that she was playing the entire time, then that's a loss on you. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and say that Ashley is some top tier, top 5 winner. I did say that with Chelsea, and that again had nothing to do with her being a Black woman. It's just the fact that she played one of the best games we've seen in Big Brother history. But Ashley, I would definitely say she is probably a middle tier winner. I haven't done a rating in my head, but I definitely wouldn't put her like low last on the list. However, she deserves to win this season, point blank in the period.
I agree with everything you said. I'm glad you touched on the like bitter juror part of it, because that like stands out to me. I've seen so many people say that, and to me, I feel like that's, to me, the bitter jury is like a slippery slope. Using that term, it starts manifesting in times where it doesn't need to, which is why I kind of try to subscribe to the sentiment that no such thing, that baby, if you got them votes, you got them votes. And I saw Dr. Will tweets or something like that. He said that exact same thing. He was like, honestly, at the end of the day, the votes don't lie. If those votes on that key said Ashley Hollis, at the end of the day, they voted for Ashley Hollis. And first of all, shout out to Will for defending Ashley's win. First of all, their wins are kind of similar in a lot of different ways, especially because she didn't win no damn comps until the end. No HOHs until the very last one. So I feel like, one, that, but two, it's true. Like, I really don't think Vince being a bitter jury, being the receiver of a bitter jury is really accurate at all. But also, I kind of didn't feel that way about Tyler either. And shit, no shade, I'll be saying that about Dan too. Like, I kind of feel like y'all use the bitter jury term a little too much. At least let it be a BB14 Dan situation where the jury actually said it, or even with Tyler, Bailey specifically kind of said she did it. It's like, at least let it be said by the jury that they're purposefully not going to vote for them because of purposeful reasons. And this season, they had discussions about how they don't like the way he played, but they didn't say they're purposefully not going to vote Vince because they purposely feel like he doesn't deserve it because he purposely da-da-da-da-da. It was more so they didn't like his game. And if you don't like someone's game, you don't vote someone to win. And that's just how it's been since the beginning of time with Nicole Shaffrich at the very first jury segment. I wouldn't say they were bitter. I would say they didn't like the way she played the game. She played in their face. Who wants to be played in their face? You don't have to win Big Brother that way. So many iconic people have won Big Brother without doing that, and have not won Big Brother because of doing that. And Vince's game was not, it had no backbone. It was backboneless. He had a boneless game. He had a boneless everything. He didn't stand on any business. When they asked him in his jury questions, a lot of his answers were weak as fuck, which we'll get into details because they were very, very weak. But I just feel like the bitter jury, it's getting thrown around too much. It's overused. That's what they're saying in the chat. It's overused. Stop using that word. I disagree. I think Ashley fully deserved her win. Like you said, she fully deserved her win. This is what I will say. Of the three, who did I think was going to win? I genuinely did think it was going to be Morgan. I'm not going to lie and act like I thought it was Ashley this whole time and I ate that up. No, I thought Morgan was winning. But as soon as if Ashley were to win the final HOH and cut Morgan, Ashley would have deserved it at that point. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. So that's exactly what the fuck happened. I do feel like if Morgan won and Morgan cut Vince, that the jury, if they would have voted Morgan, I feel like that would have made a lot of sense. I'm not going to play and act like Ashley should have beat both of them and she ate them both up and da-da-da-da. No, Ashley specifically definitely deserved to beat Vince, and she specifically definitely would have been a good winner. I personally think all three of them would have been okay winners. I'm not going to lie. When we got to this final three, I was like, wait, Lee, it's kind of not a bad final three. It's kind of not that bad of a final three. I felt like Morgan had such an impact on the game, Ashley had such an impact on the game, and Vince had such an impact on the game that I didn't mind any of them winning. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of girls didn't like Vince and didn't want him to win. I didn't want him to win, but I don't think Vince would have been the worst winner either. Honestly, because it's not Kelley or Keanu or Kat or No Shade Lauren, like I was kind of like, this final three had an impact on the game. They represent the season in some way. I was content. But the fact that it was Ashley, even better.
Yeah. And before we continue, I just want to say, because it's about 200 y'all in the chat right now, we did post a link in the chat for you to go and place your ranking for the final player ratings that we're doing in this podcast episode. So you should see the pinned comment in the chat. It will have a link to go and put your vote for who you have in your final player rating. It's a one from 0 to 10. So go ahead and get your votes in so you can have your voice when I start doing that, so the kingdom can have their own rating on the board. That should be fun. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and get your thoughts in. Okay, you want to give Ashley a 10, give Ashley her 10. This is your time now. Period.
Amen.
But no, I definitely agree with everything you were saying.
Theodore says, you two are the absolute best podcasters. Like, just remember who and what you represent. You've made me feel more comfortable about my sexuality ever since I started watching your recaps. Thank you. Oh, that is so sweet. And I do want to say shout out to the kingdom. Big shout out to the kingdom. There were so many people who I met over the weekend who were at the events who were like, hi, oh my God, Farrah, da, da, da. Thank you guys so much for appreciating us. It's so lovely. People were asking about you, Lee. They was like, girl, where's Lee? I was like, girl, she over there at work. But yes, thank you guys so much. It is so lovely receiving the love. And honestly, we just want to give the love back. Love yourself. Love each other. At the end of the, what Julie say? Girl, God one-on-one. But anyways.
No, that comment really meant a lot, Theodore. I really appreciate your support specifically because you be riding with us real hard, Theodore. Everyone who be riding with us who are in the chat who support us, it really just means so much. It does, because we started this podcast and this platform to try and really start a community, and it feels good to know that we're doing just that, because at the end of the day, it really feels like we are like a kingdom, for lack of better words. Like, I really feel like we've build a good community. Like, so many of y'all we recognize in the chat with us every single day, like, and we really appreciate it so much. So that means a lot. That does.
Oh, and they shouting you out, Lee. They said Lee was holding down for the kingdom with the TR recap.
Period. Yeah, girl, that's why you also need to get your applications in for workers, okay? If y'all want to get up here and work with the Reality Kingdom, child, get your applications in to be a podcaster with us, baby, because, times like when the girls are in LA, hey, y'all can be on live with me, Kiki, and get it up for the girls. So get into it.
Bitch, catch it. But yes, Ashley Hollis won, and she won by winning first of all, when she won the final HOH, I was gagged. But really, I was gagged that Morgan was, I don't know what was happening in her mind.
Yeah, let's get into that first. Yeah, let's get into that first. Even going back to the part 2 of the HOH, like Morgan winning part 1, I wasn't gagged. Part 2, when it was Ashley versus Vince, I remember they were talking about on the feeds that he kind of had like a meltdown or a blow up. And what we saw was, for the answers to the questions, it was based on what order they were evicted, not on which day they were evicted. Which, if I'm being honest, I think if I was Vince, I would assume it was which day as well. Usually these competitions are based on what day something happened, not the order of when it happened. But Ashley was able to pick up on that based off of the instructions that they both got. And she was able to win. And Vince had this crazy meltdown. And that's another reason why I can't respect Vince. Like, that's the big thing for me. Respect. Like, I remember I didn't like Matt and BB25, but like, if he had won the season, I could respect it to a certain extent. With Vince, I couldn't really respect it because he himself didn't believe in himself as a winner. Like, after that moment, he had completely felt like he lost the game, which, to be fair, he did, because here we are. But it's like he had no real confidence in himself, like, at all. And I think that shows in the finale speeches and jury answers. Like, first of all, he was still wearing a beanie on the finale night. Sir, take the beanie off. This is finale night. Show off those locks.
Why do you got a beanie on?
Where is your suit? Like, I get it, you're unemployed, that's your thing, but you don't have to look unemployed when you're literally fighting for $750,000. Look the fucking part. Ashley looked like a winner, which is why she motherfucking won the game. Period. Okay. And I think his lack of confidence the entire week going into the final 2, he wasn't able to prepare efficiently. Like, he himself didn't believe in his moves. He himself didn't believe in himself. So how was the jury supposed to respect that? And that is really, that goes down. This is a powerful conversation we're going to get into. The power of the tongue, bitch. Like, don't say these negative things about yourself or about what you can and you can't do, because that is exactly what the universe is going to give to you. They're going to give you exactly what you say that you are and what you deserve. You felt like you were nothing. You feel like you didn't deserve anything. You feel like you were not a good player this entire time and you did not deserve to win. So guess what? You didn't win.
Yeah. And it's crazy because he should have had he should have had a great game, and he should have had a great capability of selling his game, but he simply operated off of woe is me. He operated off of being this weak individual, and unfortunately, it wasn't just a strategy. It was just how he genuinely felt. And that's what he said in his final jury speech. That's what you could see when he was in his private conversations. He genuinely feels sorry for himself. And it's hard to have room to sympathize or empathize with Vince, because unfortunately, you have somewhere to live. Although you don't have a job, you have somewhere to live. You live with your parents. Baby, I was out in them LA streets. There were so many homeless people with no parents, living on their dog, living outside on the ground, bitch, like not showering, nothing. You have way more than you act like you have. Every single day with Vince, it was, why is it me? Why do I have to always lose? Oh my God, I have a girlfriend who loves me. Why do I have to lose my girlfriend? Oh my God, Morgan might want me to. Why do I have so many girls wanting me? This is so hard. Oh my God, Lauren wants to be my ally. Oh no, why do I have so many allies? Oh no, why have I won so many HOHs? Oh no, why am I like, you're complaining about positive things all the time. I can't feel sorry for you. I don't give a fuck. It is very annoying. And I feel bad. I feel bad in the sense that it's clear that it's coming from his internal insecurities a little bit, not to get too deep into what he's going on with, but it's something we had to experience with him throughout this entire season, and all the way to the final three in that HOH competition. He's literally, no, why me? I can't do anything. Like, what? Who are you, a toddler? Like, it's just, he uses verbiage that people use when they're emotionally not mature enough to kind of handle those emotions. It's kind of unfortunate. I just hope he can move past this to where he doesn't feel this way about himself with every single decision. It seems like when positive shit happens, he feels negative. That's scary. Like, he could have won the season. He would have been like, I won, but why do I have to choose what to do with the money? Why me? No, now I have to decide what to buy. No. Like, sir, I'm so sorry.
And so many people tried to like get at me on Twitter about why Vince deserved it over Ashley. And a lot of the things were saying like, oh, he had control. He had these relationships, which I do appreciate in a player. Like, I think Vince is an interesting case study. And if he had won the game, it would be an even more interesting case study, because this is someone who is so insecure in himself, for lack of better words, that he allowed almost every decision of his to be guided by someone else in the game. And then by the end game, we saw most of those decisions were specifically from Morgan. So as far as him having connections with people with Keanu and Lauren and Kelley, what did he do with those connections but throw them away? Yeah. He chose the Judges Alliance, which he mentioned in his speech that Morgan did not have to push him or help him join the judges, that he did it out of his own volition, which is not true. We saw him not wanting to work with this group. We saw him say multiple times that this group does not work for him in the slightest, because it did not work for him in the slightest. You know who did work for him and help him a lot? People like Zach, people like Rylie, people like Catherine, people like Lauren. He did not do the work to solidify that side at all. He did not do the work to make sure that he was able to use his numbers, his people, to be able to garner favor in the game, to be able to be a deserving winner. Like, even he said in his own speech that by the end of it, he was turning allies to enemies, but by the end of it, he still had allies, and people like Keanu, Lauren, and Kelley, neither one of the three voted for him.
Yeah.
Because he was not doing anything to assist these people in the game. And if he did assist these people, it would have helped him in the end, because he could have beaten them, one, and he could have gotten the remaining people's vote in a jury. He did nothing by helping the judges. Will didn't vote him. Ava, who was an associate of the judges, did not vote him. Rachel did not vote him. He got Morgan's vote, but because they were besties the entire time. Like, him siding with the judges did not help his game in the slightest, and he only did it out of influence from the other side of the game. We saw consistently and time again the active players in the house: Morgan, Mickey, Rachel, Ashley, Will, when he wanted to wake up every once in a while. They were getting shit done because they had a goal and they always pushed to execute it. The week where Lauren was HOH, and it was going to be Ashley or Adrian going on the block. Ashley's side worked so hard, including Ashley, to keep herself off the block in a situation where she should have been a renom and possibly going home that week. It happened time and time again with people like Vince and the remaining of the people. So I don't know how you tell me that he would have deserved to win because he had all of these connections and some people connected to him. That's great. It got on the final two. Congratulations, you got 75K. But do you deserve to represent the season as a winner? I don't believe so. And do I think? And I'll be honest, with Morgan losing, the season wasn't going to have a strong winner. The strong winner, the one that was really like would have put a stamp on the season, would have been Morgan. Period. That's true. But we didn't get that. And I do think we got the second best option in someone who actually did have to play from the bottom, actually had to use social strategy to stay in the game, had to win competitions when needed to, had to maintain relationships to be able to get those votes at the end of the game. Those are things Ashley did. Was it the flashiest game? Was it the most out there game? Did she have the most entertaining personality? No, but she was in there to play the game. And Clock she won it, period, because she was playing the game.
Clock that to you. And it's weird because I'll be honest, I love Ashley's game, but I understand where people are coming from Vince's game at some points but this is the issue. As a juror, I don't believe I would have ever really voted Vince, but as a person who watched the episodes and I saw all of the intricate things he was doing on the feeds or that were being achieved on the feeds is where I'm like, okay, because I always go back to Lauren using the veto on him after he helped convince her to do that, and him with the Keanu plan of let's convince Morgan to use the veto on me, and he knowing Morgan is his closest ally, him knowing Lauren is his closest ally, him choosing Lauren over the judges in the wheel thing to prioritize Lauren and eventually cause Rachel to go home. It's like he definitely had an involvement in so many things, regardless of him and his HOH. These are weeks he was nominated, not weeks he was HOH. All 3 times he was not. You know what he did do? He sucked on them questions, but that last speech was the only part where I was like, you actually might have said something, because he said the 3 times I was nominated, I got saved 3 different ways. I made an ally use the veto on me. I made sure I got the votes against one of the most social people in the house, Zach, and I made sure I won the blockbuster. He ate that up, and I always remember that. And the thing about his game versus Ashley's, if I was a juror who, honestly, I'm gonna be real, it had no biases, because I do have biases. In that game, I probably would have been closer to Ashley. I probably would have liked Ashley more, and I probably would have just voted Ashley. But if these were 2 blank slates and I thought about Vince's game, I would be like, Vince had an impact on multiple weeks that changed the way the game moved forward, where sometimes Ashley didn't. When Vince was nominated and Zach went home, Zach wouldn't have went home next to no other bitch in that house but Vince. When he got that veto used and Rylie went home that week, that would not have got used on anybody but Vince. I'm giving a better argument within him, though, and that's the problem. He doesn't even argue this himself. He doesn't even feel this himself. He barely knows it himself, but that's the thing. He does know it, but he's a little punk. And he doesn't want to say it, and he wants to be this, woe is me, because he didn't say in the answers, and then he said it in the thing. They said, were you being emotionally manipulative? He said no, and then in his speech, he said yes. What happened? What happened, liar? Own it!
And I would definitely argue you're right, like in moments like that, like him getting the veto used on him and Rylie going home. He was a big piece in the game. I just think it Ashley winning shows that you can win any way that you play Big Brother. You don't have to be the person involved in every decision every single week. And with Vince, it's not like he was involved and he was the main person making the decision and he was the main person making sure what the decision that happened benefited him. He was a piece. He was a pawn in the game. Like, I think one thing you could say about Ashley is that she was never used like a puppet or a rag doll within the game. She wasn't used as just a number or used as a shield or used as a sword. Like, Vince was used as a weapon against his own side. He was used as a vote. He was used as someone that can, influence their entire HOH. He was used as someone to put up his own closest ally. Time and time again, Vince was just used. And while I do think it's impressive that his social game was so good that he was able to get involved in all of these things, because one thing he did say was that he had multiple paths to the end. That is one thing I will give him, that he was always going to be in final 2. I think that anyone could have predicted that pre-jury.
Yeah.
It's just being able to do that does not make you a great player or deserving winner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there are a lot of players in Big Brother who, if they play multiple times, could go far. And because of that, I probably would give them a higher than average score on a final ranking. But does that mean you necessarily deserve to win? No. Someone like Matt and BB25, he's the most recent example, I feel like, of this archetype that can be socially well with everyone and go so far to the end. The way Matt was in his speech, similar to the way Vince was in his speech, I would not call it a deserving winner. A deserving winner would be able to explain how you use your social connections to get to the end. Someone in the chat just said Enzo. I think Enzo is another great example of that, where it's like, yes, you can go far, but are you going to win? Do you have the game? Do you have the relationships? Do you have the resume to be able to win? And I think it pisses me off because people are so quickly look at just competition wins. Like, oh, you have 4 HOHs. Oh, you have this many vetoes. So you must have been doing something. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean much at all to me, really. You know? So it just shows that you were able to get yourself out of danger because you were able to win competitions. I think it's more impressive that you were someone like Ashley who was in tentative danger throughout the season, yet did not get targeted. And when she was targeted, she was able to get the votes to flip against her. You know? So I do think that Vince has some impressive things. I just felt like in a final 3, Vince would deserve to win. If he was next to Keanu, Kelley, Lauren, give him the win. But Ava, give him the win. But next to Ashley, next to Morgan, I just don't think he deserved it. And my personal ranking, it would have been Morgan, Ashley, then him. I see a lot of people saying they would have preferred Ashley over Morgan, and I think that's fucking great because it just shows that so many people are open to accepting someone that isn't just the main comp beast. Like, my mind goes straight to Morgan.
I agree.
Because even in my mind, I love a dominant game, and not just based on comp wins, but the ability to control others and get your way. And I think Morgan had that, and which is why I prefer her. But if you prefer Ashley, that's great as well, because I think she is a great and deserving winner. And I think if Vince was able to get to the end with someone like Kelley, Keanu, or Lauren, which he should have been in the end game, which he could not get to the end game with them because he kept helping the fucking judges, then he could have won and he would have been deserving. But he wasn't deserving next to these two people. He shouldn't have even been in the end game with Morgan and Ashley. The fact that he was because of someone else in Morgan, someone else in Ashley, who was able to get these people to keep them in the game. So that's why by the end of it, I can't respect it. I do think Vince has a lot of great qualities as a player. Like, even in this final ranking, I don't think I'm going to give him that low of a score. But as a potential winner, I don't think he got the juice like that.
And honestly, I just think that it's, especially now that we're talking it out, I just think it's simply, I want to, and this is a concept we don't really talk about much because I feel like it doesn't usually matter, but I want to respect the person who won my season. And although Vince did a lot of intricate things within the Big Brother game, he survived the vote, he convinced people to use the veto on him, stuff like that, which is very intricate and it's a indicator of being a good player. He still doesn't gain my respect, and that's the issue. They weren't bitter, they didn't respect him. Period. And he didn't respect himself. And that's it at the end of the day, because I won't say that the people who are analyzing the game and see that Vince was involved in this and he got the vote, the veto, and the I get it. He was a part of all of those things. But at the end of the day, if you're voting for a winner of the season, you want to vote someone you can respect. And Ashley's game is respectable because of the way she played it. She stood on business. And like Lee said, she didn't get manipulated. She didn't get used. She didn't get pulled around. She stood on business within her own game. So it's weird. I think this is a very interesting season because I do think on paper, Vince, even fuck winning competitions, even other than if he didn't win 0 HOHs, I still think on paper Vince had moves like getting the veto used on him that are way extremely impressive, to where it's like you would think that person won, but at the end of the day, Vince's character and the manner in which he played the game does not garner him respect. And it's similar to someone said in the chat, Tyler, it's similar to Enzo. You don't play the game in a way that gets you the win, and the goal is to win Big Brother, not to make it to final 2. He played self-preservation, brother. Ashley played Big Brother.
Period.
And that's just that on that. So in part 3, Ashley and Morgan went head to head, and Morgan choked the fuck down, which is crazy because it's so parallel to Vanessa and Steve. And I was scared because I was like, Steve won. Is Ashley gonna get the votes? And she did. It is so parallel to Vanessa and Steve. The way that Vanessa won part 1, and then she choked on part 3. Morgan won part 1, she choked on part 3, and then Ashley took her ass out, which she should have.
It was so crazy when she started choking. Like, she literally didn't get any damn questions right, damn near.
What
She got
happened?
one question right, and it's like, baby, you're the Vanessa. You're the
Yeah.
Vanessa, baby.
Yeah.
You are. Like, it's bad. Like, when I watched it, like, I was immediately scared because I'm thinking, fuck, like, can Ashley beat Vince? Like, can she beat this man? Like, I truly thought we were about to go into an end game where people like Lauren, Keanu, and Kelley would still vote Vince, and not because Vince deserved it, but because their connections with Ashley throughout the season were not as close as they were to Vince. And that's where we go into the argument, turning your allies into enemies, and vice versa, turning your enemies into allies. And I think Taryn actually mentioned this in his final recap of our RJP. He compared Ashley's wins to Taylor in the sense that she was able to get people going out of the game to respect her more and want her to win. And I didn't even clock that while it was happening, because that's exactly what was happening. Like, as the weeks went on, Lauren started to really like Ashley. We saw it with Ava. We saw it with Morgan. But Keanu also flipping that vote like that. Kelley never really trashed Ashley that much. Like, she had something negative to say about everybody, but she never really had like outright negative things like, I'm never going to vote Ashley to win this game. I assume because she hated Rachel that would transfer to Ashley, but streets are saying Rachel went to work on Kelley and Jury, bitch. They're best friends apparently now. So ate that up. It's just like, that's so impressive, in my opinion, to not have people liking you in the game, and then when they're leaving, they have so much respect for you that they want you to win. They had every reason to have respect for Vince, considering how closely they work with that man, but he didn't allow them to respect him, and not because he burned them, because that would make a bitter jury, but like you said, Pharaoh, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect how he played the game. They didn't respect the moves that he made, and they did respect the moves that Ashley made. Did she make 10 to 15 moves that we can, list on an essay? No, but the moves she made were pivotal in getting her to the win. And that is just a big difference. You don't always need to go all in. Have you ever like tried out for something or applied for something, or you're working at a job and you're like, damn, bitch, like, I'm doing all of this and I ain't getting nowhere. I'm not getting promoted. I'm not getting more money. Because, baby, you could be doing everything, and it does not mean that you're going to get to that next step. And it sometimes it's because of privilege and other things like that, but sometimes it just doesn't take all of that. Sometimes it just does not take all of that to be able to earn or garner respect. Sometimes less is more. And I think in this situation, because Vince was involved in so many things, he was able to show his inability as a player, and that really lost the respect for a lot of people. I think people understood, because what he tried to argue was that I'm playing Big Brother, I'm playing this game. And I think Vince was playing Big Brother. I'm not saying he was not playing Big Brother. I just don't think he realizes that you lost the respect factor. You have to make them realize why they should respect the game that you were playing. But the real reason is he can't provide that answer, because there is no genuine or logical reason as to why he turned on his closest allies in the game. There is none. He said himself he wasn't working with Ashley, and now he's sitting in final 2 with a girl.
Yep.
So it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. So yeah, Ashley took Morgan out, ate her the fuck up, brought Vince to final 2, ate him the fuck up in them speeches. What was your favorite part of Ashley's speech, girl? Because there was so many. It was so many.
Girl, let's go through all of the situations real quick. Real quick. So the first question was from Keanu to Vince. His question was basically, we feel like you play on an emotionally manipulative game that led to horrible jury management. Explain why you chose that strategy, and can you justify it? He immediately is like, I don't think I did anything emotionally manipulative. He was like, I'm just an emotional person. I did not do anything unethical or poor. I just played based off of self-preservation. Every move I made was for myself. I had multiple paths to the end that would hurt multiple people, because I had to basically choose between those people. And he apologizes to anyone that believes that he was playing on an emotionally manipulative level, because that was not his point. And to your point you said earlier, he does say in his final speech that he was manipulative and he was backstabbing. And You can kind of go into semantics on was he talking about emotion manipulation or not.
Right.
Regardless, they're saying to you by this question that we feel like you did this to us and we don't have a reason to justify it. So you need to tell me why you can justify it. And just saying that, you know, you had no other option and you weren't actually being emotionally manipulative, that you just are an emotional person, that doesn't help. And that's something that Vince always does. He tries to avoid blame.
Yeah.
Like, and that's his biggest thing. And self-preservation is something that works for a lot of people. I think that Cirie is one of the queens of self-preservation because every single show she plays on, she's able to get to the end of the game. But self-preservation can only work for so long. And it's hard to garner respect playing that way, especially if you're like all into it, to the fact that you're literally turning on some of your own allies. Because like I said, it's not going to make sense for people. So him immediately saying that, oh, I didn't play that way. It's like, oh, well, you just disregarded our entire feelings then, basically, because we feel like you did.
Yeah. Pro tip. Don't ever disagree with what the jury is saying. I know that sounds crazy. The jury could say, we think you're literally the devil incarnate. And you need to be like, I am the devil incarnate. And that's because I was playing Big Brother in this game. Like, you need to actually agree. They're asking you a question because they think this. Even if they're completely wrong and you genuinely were crying your ass off because you're weak and you're scared and you're crying, which is probably true, lie and say that wasn't the case. You don't need to get up here and defend your honor and who you are as a person. No, you need to win the game. This is your chance to win the game. His answer should have been, whoever asked him, he should have been, yes, I was emotionally manipulative. I also was strategically manipulative. I also was socially manipulative. And I also was physically manipulative. When I won those HOHs and you guys all thought that Morgan was running them, that was a part of my game. At the end of the day, I needed to be seen as someone who was not the biggest target so that Ashley could evict Morgan over me. Morgan seemed like she was running my HOHs because I wanted it to seem that way. So Ashley would take me to the final two where I'm at. Every single one of you thought you could work with me and you could not. You were all in the jury, including Morgan, and I'm still here. If you don't vote me to win this game, you will be doing a disservice to the game of Big Brother. Are we here to play Big Brother, or are we here to cry about emotional manipulation? Because from what I recall, emotional manipulation is Big Brother. And Julie would have said, we need to wrap it up, because I would have kept going.
Bitch, you ate. It is.
That was Ashley Hollis's answer.
Simple. It's that simple. And that's another thing I'm really loving from the Black women and our new era winner circle. The speeches, baby. Those speeches, they're planned, they're thought out, they're thorough. They know what the fuck they're talking about. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you played the worst game in Big Brother history. Everyone has a story. Everyone can change that story into the most iconic thing ever. And that's what you have to do. Ashley knew her moves weren't as flashy as someone like Vince because of the lack of competition wins. So she went in there with a confidence that knocked them out of the fucking park. Taylor did the exact same thing. See, Chelsea, she had the comp wins. You know, so she had the proof in the pudding. She could lean back on that a little bit. People like Taylor and Ashley, they didn't really fully have that, so they had to lean in on other things. And no, like honestly, if you're someone who do not believe that you can win competitions, you need to go home and you need to study Taylor Hale and Ashley Hollis's final speeches for sure. Because I think those are two examples of how to explain your game to people who think only competition matter. Because based off the speech alone, those were winning speeches. Vince could have literally owned up to the shit he did. If he didn't give it up like this, I still would be like, hold on, bitch, did you deserve to win? Is that how you giving it up? Like, no way you can go up against a speech like that and expect to win if you haven't prepared anything at all. This seems like Vince, it seems like he didn't prepare shit.
He's too busy. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be mean to this man. I don't know this man, but he's too busy trying to feel sorry for himself that he can't even answer the question right. He heard emotionally manipulative, and he's trying to. Well, no, I'm not being emotionally manipulative, to where he's confusing himself, because that's literally what Big Brother is. And yes, you are. Like, he's thinking so personal. I think he took that as personal. Like, oh, they think I'm like, oh, Kelsey, wait, my girlfriend who doesn't love me. Like, he's thinking of all the wrong shit he's been doing, guilty conscious, that he can't even answer the damn question right. Girl. And Ashley Hollis ate him.
down every single time. It was easy. It was child's play. A mild day.
It was.
So the next question was from Rachel to Ashley. She says, "We in the jury feel you all played a great social game, but list the strategic moves that you made that would make you worthy of being a BB winner." And what Ashley really focused on in this answer was adaptability and repositioning herself. And what I love about Ashley too, which is probably something she learned from like being a lawyer and things like that, because I know I got this in debate. You need to like explain your reasoning. What was the reason? What was the reason? Explain the reason. And she really went into depth detail on like things that she meant. So she said that she's adaptable and she can reposition herself. Then she gave an example of how after Zach left, she attached herself to people like Morgan and Vince. She also aligned with the Shield and Rachel, Ava and Will she had connections with. And she went into detail how she helped create the Judges Alliance, which stemmed from her wanting to save Morgan on Rachel's HOH, even though Rachel didn't want to save Morgan at the time. So she went into detail about how she had protection with an alliance, plus people outside of that group, while not being able to win these competitions, which I thought she answered flawlessly. This is the time when Julie was like, "Oh, you have to wrap it up." And it's like, let her talk.
House guests, remember, you're going to get a final speech. She thought that was her final speech. No, baby, that was her answer. Her final speech is something totally different. Don't worry.
In it, she was passionate and she was going to keep going until the fucking bell rung, bitch. And I live for that. Let them shut you up. Let them shut you up, because baby, I'm gonna keep going until you.
I do agree. And from that moment on, if I was Vince, baby, I'm never shutting up, bitch. I'm gonna just ramble. And how's your day?
You could see his confidence shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. It was so crazy. And then we have Kelley to Vince. She asks, "You did a lot of lying and a lot of crying. How much was sincere and how much was game?"
Pause. Hated this question. This was the exact same question as the first one. I know they only get to ask two specific ones. They should have thought of more variety. This was ridiculous. This is the same question that y'all asked me earlier. Honestly, I would have used this to answer a whole totally different thing. But what did he say? I forgot.
He said all of his crying was sincere. He cares deeply about the game and he speaks with passion. So the passion about the game likely came out when he was speaking about the game. And that's how the tears got involved. There was obviously game behind the words that he was using, but because he's so passionate about the game, it also made him emotional.
Wrong answer, forehead.
Yeah, not a good answer at all. Not a good answer at all. Because it's once again, it's like, in a way, you're asking us still to like feel sorry or feel like we
also don't care. That's not why we're asked. I think he doesn't understand why they're asking it. He's too busy thinking they're judging him. I think he thinks everyone's judging him about everything he does and he's always going to get judged. That's not why they're not asking you if you were lying and crying, because they genuinely care if you were lying and crying. They're asking you to explain your game behind lying and crying, and he took that so literally that he actually answered about lying and crying. That's not the real question. It's more than that.
And what you just hit on something so important. You're not answering these questions literally. You literally need to act like a politician or a lawyer, bitch. I can ask you, go Pharaoh. We finna give an example.
Okay, what's the question?
Pharaoh, is the sky blue?
The sky is blue, and the reason the sky is blue is because I ran this game. At the start of the game, I made sure that I nominated Ashley Hollis, and the same person I nominated is sitting next to me, and she was wearing that blue shirt because I made sure that blue was guiding me through the entire... I'm sorry, I got into my big brother.
But like literally though, like
I know what you mean.
You're not literally answering the question
like
that they asked you.
Ignore the question and tell me why you should win the game.
Case for your game, and that's something that Ashley kept doing. Will gets up. Will fucking love Will, y'all. When
I was mad at Will earlier at the jury roundtable because we gotta talk about the roundtable. I almost forgot. First of all,
that shitty ass roundtable. I fucking hate the roundtable.
No shade to Cody Calafiore, but shade to Cody. No, it's not him.
It's not his fault.
I genuinely think the producers suck. And you know what I hate the most about this season doing so well? It was carried by the cast. The editing, the twist, the decision making, all horrendous, and they're getting rewarded for that shit. And that shit pisses me off. It is not them at all. Shout out to this motherfucking cast.
Yeah. Once again, honestly, the new era has been serving it up on a platter as far as dynamics within the cast. Like even some of the bad ones, it's like when you look at the retrospect of the season, it's like y'all did your big one. But it made me so mad to hear that Will and Rachel had revealed that she was a lawyer. However, I do think maybe it could have had the reversed effect because
I think it was positive.
It seemed as though Rachel and Will were really big Ashley defenders in the jury. And I think that they were like, well, let's go ahead and reveal this now so we can justify why she deserves it. But once again, that's why I'm so annoyed. That's why I didn't want to speak about the jury segment, is because we have no real information about the winner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The actual winner. Yep. And it makes me feel like, oh, they just thought it was going to be between Morgan and Vince, so we're going to have the most information on them. When they got to Ashley, we barely heard anything. Like, the most part, they said her social game was good and things like that. But they reiterated back to Vince and Morgan. So it's like, I wish we just heard more about what they were thinking about Ashley. Because even Keanu, when he placed his vote, he was like, I have been speaking with a lot of people about what I believe a Big Brother winner should be and who I believe it should be.
Yep.
And it's like, I want to know those conversations. Like, what did you ask? What did you say? Because apparently they can't even talk game. If you do not know, when they're in the jury house and the camera is not on them, they're not allowed to talk game. Now, they probably still do it because I know my ass do it. But all of the game talk we get is them on camera. So why the fuck are we not getting a full goddamn episode of the jury segment?
We should have a full episode, but you know what kills me? We only got jury round segment episodes in non-official episodes. We didn't get any on a weekly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, we only got it in the After Dark, the Unlocked, and in the Rewind episode when we rewound and watched everybody's information. Those are our only two jury segments before the finale. Are y'all dumb? Like, what made them stop showing the jury segments? And I understand them wanting us to be ambiguous about the winner, but honestly, I think they need to stop doing that as well. Like, get better at asking questions to where it doesn't reveal exactly who the winner is going to be, and then you won't have to worry about that. Y'all ask basic ass questions, they answer them basically, and it gives away the winner, so then you just edit everything out. Why is everything being edited? And then stop having this bias. I genuinely think they thought Morgan or Vince was winning, so they only edited the Morgan and Vince shit in there. Bitch, are you dumb? Y'all whole winner we have no information about. Girl, silly.
So Will asks Ashley, you had Rachel as a shield and part of a strong alliance, but what were the contributions to your personal success? And she kind of reiterates the social game, which I really like what she was doing too. She reiterated a lot of her points, and then she broke it down all well in her final speech. But she just reiterated that she had a social game. She was covered in all aspects of the game without having to win a competition. Once she made top 7, she knew she would be in final 2, which was also a really good thing. She kept having those like buzzer words or buzzer phrases that's like, whereas Vince was just like, well, guys, I was emotional. So I just love everything she was saying in her answers. She said that like when Will left, she mentioned the Will leaving and how she got the votes against Will because of her relationship with Keanu, to which he didn't even like her at first. So she was able to get his vote and stay. And she still had people like Lauren and Kelley and the judges protecting her. So she hit all points. I think that was beneficial to her winning the game. Like, and every answer and her final speech, like she hit everything, like getting the votes to stay, winning her first veto, winning conflict she needed to.
Turning enemies to allies. All of that.
Like she hit so many good moments. Like it was good. It was great.
Yep.
And then Lauren has a question for Vince. She says, we see your game intertwined with Morgan's. Give 3 game moves that you made that Morgan can't take credit for.
I know he didn't do a good job.
Answered this question so bad. Like,
and he had so many great answers.
Actually ran through this man like a Tomb Raider. Like, it wasn't even a competition. And the thing is, he says himself, because he had so many competition wins, he had to work with so many people, and it pissed people off and all those other things. But it's like, even with all of this experience you have within the season, you can't provide a good answer to these questions as if you didn't do any. It's like if you didn't watch any of the season and you just watched the finale, you would be like, what the fuck did Vince do?
Nothing. You know what's crazy? He had so many great answers to this question. He just didn't answer them. He knows he convinced Lauren to use the veto on him. That has nothing to do with Morgan because she doesn't even like her. He knows he had a final 2 with Lauren and a final 2 with Kelley and a final 2 with Keanu. He did mention those. But he mentioned those at the end of... That's the thing. He starts off victimizing himself, and then by the end, he'll answer. And you know what? He kind of did that in his first question. He started off explaining why, wait, no, don't hate me. And then he ended off with a okay version of an answer. And it's like, sir, just say the fucking answer. Because didn't he start this off talking about some, oh, well, the judges wasn't da-da-da-da, but by the end of it, he was saying, and I had final twos with Kelley. And don't say that at the end, say that at the beginning. I'm sorry.
Just dumb. So basically, he says that honoring the judges' alliance, he had no reason to trust the judges, but he used this group to stay insulated in the middle of the game. And I just don't think this was a good answer because
wrong answer for him.
You didn't want to honor the judges. Like, that was Morgan. Morgan had a lot of influence as to why you stayed loyal to the judges. Hello. The reason why you even put up Lauren was because of the judges. The reason why you didn't put up Ashley was because of the judges. And that was Morgan's influence on your HOHs.
Hello. Come on. Next.
He's like, the first 6 weeks. Why are we talking about the first 6 weeks, baby? The first 6 weeks, he had no alignment with votes with Morgan. He was more so aligned with Zach. That's not true.
Next.
Maybe I can't recall right now if they voted on the same.
They didn't. They never voted. They never voted the same. Morgan always voted with.
Like, but let's be real.
Y'all were. I wouldn't even say never because he voted with them sometimes too. It wasn't never.
But regardless, Morgan was heavily involved. Morgan was heavily involved with you at that time of the game. So it's like, even if y'all are not voting the same, we all know that y'all have been a pair and a trio with Zach since the first 6 weeks of the game.
So that's a terrible answer.
And then his last thing he says was, I think he just gives up and he's like, well, me and Morgan were a known duo. So the moves that I made also benefited her, but they were moves for me.
Terrible answer. That was his answer?
Yeah, he said that.
So I made up the Kelley and Keanu. Okay, well, if it was me, I would have said 90% of my game was without Morgan. At the beginning of the game, me and Zach were in agreement that we were in between two alliances, one with Lauren and one with Morgan. We had a final three with Lauren and we had a final three with Morgan, and we were just going to go with whoever could keep us in the game longer. When Morgan had connections to all of the people in the Judges Alliance, I used that as a way to insulate myself in between two sides. I had Lauren on one side with Kelley and Keanu, the judges on the other side with all of them. So Morgan didn't have an impact on my game solely the way that I feel like you guys believe, because literally half of the house wasn't even working with Morgan and I was. So there you go. Something next. Mind you, I'm not even him. He lived this.
Sad. And then Ava goes, she asks Ashley, explain why you deserve to win over the person next to you. She goes into winning comps is great, but a winner can strategically and socially align themselves to stay safe without winning competitions. She said a big brother winner. And this is her strongest point. I feel like I literally tweeted this today because I was just thinking about it. She says a big brother winner is someone who could turn their enemies into allies, not their allies into enemies, like my counterpart next to me did. Eat it up. She says Vince, and then she gives an example. Vince put me on the block in week 1. Yes. Then we were in an alliance together, and now I'm in final 2 with him. Keanu flipped his vote to keep me over Will. That is social game. So, like I said, once again, she told you a reason. She provided examples with people that were in the jury house, not randomly mentioning Zay and Zach and Adrian and randoms from week 1 and 2 and 3. Like, she stayed on topic. Vince was child all over the place.
Come on, answer.
And then finally,
Morgan with this layup that he didn't even answer well.
Morgan with this layup didn't even help. So she says, what do you feel is the strongest part of your game that got you to final 2? He opens with my social game, but then he proceeds to list how he won competitions. And I think he was trying to say those competitions allowed him to align with people, which is why he had to turn allies into enemies. And that's another reason why the allies to enemies things was so nasty, because he was so stuck on that, y'all. This entire question, this answer, he mentioned that like twice. She had his ass shook and gagged with that one. He was trying so hard to digress with that statement. He couldn't even do it. But terrible response. He says he was able to have everyone by the end still be my allies. Then he started listing people like Kelley, Keanu.
Who doesn't like him? They were laughing.
Kelley started laughing at him. Kelley literally laughed in his face. And neither of the 3 voted him because they were not his allies. They were still enemies, actually. And basically, he said that this allowed him to have multiple paths to the end, which I think was the best thing he said in that answer, that he had multiple paths to the end. He was probably going to be in the end game regardless of who he sat next to, regardless of who he betrayed, regardless of what alliance he was in. I was going to be in final 2. But he couldn't even say that. Like, you know what sucks? There was no passion. There was no drive.
He didn't believe in himself.
Connection to his game.
He didn't believe in himself. But it sucks because Ashley, this whole situation was a debate. And if Vince was a good debater, he genuinely could have done way better, because even the enemies to allies thing, you flip that. You make that positive. As soon as Morgan would have asked me this question, I would have immediately said, yes, I ended up having all my allies become enemies. And that's because all of you were my allies to become enemies. At the beginning of this game, when I won the first HOH, I made an allegiance with every single person in this house. And that's why to the end of the day, Ashley Hollis, who I nominated on something. Fuck!
I mean, the fact that I'm sitting in Final 2 is a testament to my social game.
Literally!
I'm telling you that I nominated her in week 1. I randomly joined an alliance with her in the middle of the game, and now she took me to Final 2 over one of her closest allies in the game.
Come on, bro.
Morgan y'all are saying it yourselves. Me and Morgan has played very similar games. She could have took Morgan and probably still won. Why did she take me over Morgan? The same reason why every single one of you continues to
why didn't you nominate me? Literally. Rachel, why did you work with me when you hated me? Every single one of you sitting here knew you couldn't trust me and still worked with me. But he sucks. Girl, let's move. What else? Oh, and then they had their last speeches.
They had their final speeches. And Ashley, like we kept mentioning, she hit on a lot of her points. I love that she mentioned Showergate. Get a quick joke out there. She mentioned remaining target list after winning her veto. I like that she went into how she purposefully lessened her threat level while still trying to maintain the target, because she realized being a big target gets you sent home. Being someone not looked at could get you sent home and no respect in the game. So she tried to keep herself at a good level to where she could be targeted, but there were other people to worry about. I like that, because that was a lot of her journey throughout the game. Like, the reason why we couldn't give her such high ratings at first was because it kept going back to, well, people just don't like Ashley.
Yeah.
And whether that was intentional or not, bitch, she said it. Okay. Yep. And that is an example of explaining the game that you played. That is her game. And whether she was intentionally doing it or not, she said it. So now that's a part of her story. That is how you give a final speech, regardless of what your game is. No matter how bad and dumb and stupid you think you were, Vince, you argue that like you're fucking the best gamer that ever stepped into that house, Literally. And that is what she did. She brought up the lawyer thing, her connection to Elle Wood. She turned enemies into allies, insulated herself, just hit on every single thing that made her a deserving winner, bitch. Julie had to stop her at the buzzer. Yeah, because my sister was going to keep going, and she stopped at a perfect moment too. It ended. It was like boop. It was like period. After you ate that up, and Vince, I think Vince, this was his best part of the night. He opened with "I really am unemployed," also funny. And he mentioned like how he applied for years, and he had to do everything to make it and be successful. And I think that is so random. What? But Vince, he immediately goes to trying to like defend himself, and I feel like, for lack of better words, make people feel sorry for him, because even mentioning, I've been applying for so many years and I came into this game very insecure, and I was still able to get here. I won 4 HOHs, I won multiple different type of comps with multiple different skill sets. It's like, well, this arc of feeling sorry for you is already gone. Like, we felt sorry for you multiple times, and you played in our face multiple times, so we don't care. Fuck you. The reason why I laughed is because I've been binging Rick and Morty again recently.
Okay.
And he reminds me so much of the dad on the show, Jerry.
Oh my God.
He is so Jerry coded. If anyone watches Rick and Morty, do y'all agree with that? Like,
he's very character. He's genuinely like a character. He wears the same thing. Oh, but then again, let me not talk about that because that's offensive. He actually has OCD. Like, he talked about that on the feeds one time, and I totally forgot. Yeah, I totally forgot. So some of these things are probably also neurodivergence related, and I will give him that 1 inch of grace. But girl, get over all of the woe is me of it all. That's so annoying. But the rest of the speech was good. What else he say?
Yeah, like he says he came in with very little confidence, won multiple comps with different skill sets. I like this part. I'm not a huge fan of competitions, but I like when you can argue in a way that's like, oh shit, bitch, I didn't even clock that. He said he made 14 nominations. He nominated 9 out of the 17 players in this game. Over half of the cast was put on the block by me alone. He had to have his game revolve around self-preservation and damage control because of this. And I just wish that he would just push that a little bit harder. Don't go into, well, I had to do this because of this. Yeah. Tell me why you're that nigga because you did that.
I did this because I'm that nigga. Don't say that. But yeah.
And then he says I like this part too. He found 3 different ways to get off the block. He campaigned and stayed off of votes. He got the veto used on him, and he won the blockbuster. Nasty. Come Come on. And then he also ends with, I manipulated and I backstabbed. Yes, but that is what Big Brother is. We all came here to play a game.
You should have started with that an hour ago.
If he had this energy with the answers, baby,
it would have been a war. I would love, and that's the main reason why sorry. I was gonna just real quick. I was gonna say I would love a final two where both of them were like eating each other up. Yeah. Like we haven't gotten that.
No, and I really need that in the new era because I feel like Xavier and Big D, both of their speeches, I wasn't gagged by either one of their speeches, honestly. I think that Jag blew Matt out of the water, Taylor blew Monty out of the water, and now Ashley just blew Vince out of the water. I want a battle, you know?
Yeah.
And we're not getting that. Like, I need that because Vince, and that's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying about Vince to this day, and it's the reason why I said what I said about Matt as well, is because I can say what I want about your game, but if you're able to get to the end and you're able to explain it and articulate it well, I have to respect it. The reason why I can't extend that respect is because you couldn't even go up there and articulate it. You could, like, Vince did play a game that can be considered good, that could be considered one of the best if he were to win this season. He couldn't even explain it his damn self. All of the competition wins, all the people you nominated, all the people you work with, all the final twos you had, you didn't have the knowledge and the expertise to be able to explain why you deserve to win this game. You don't deserve to win this game. Period. Because that's a part of it as well. Arguing your case is a part of winning this show. And if you can't do it or garner respect, then you deserve to lose.
Period. We got some questions in the chat. Let's see what they talking about. Oh, y'all, make sure y'all send in y'all ratings. We got the link to the ratings. It's pinned in the chat. Click the link. Send in your ratings. We already got 126 responses, honey. Send your shit in. Oh, all right. Shout out to Jon Snow in the chat. Morgan's downfall was letting Eeyore. Oh my God. Stressed her for 48 hours straight. I would have put him in the corner, rested, and tried to campaign to Ashley. Morgan, I genuinely think she was too at this end game was a little bit too much on Vince. She should have spreaded her wings a little bit, made Ashley feel a little bit more willing to take her because they have a strong connection, both being Black women. Honestly, like, and they're really close friends in the game. I feel like Morgan just sitting in the corner with Vince all day. It's like you're spending all your social capital on Vince, who fucking flopped. So it's like he couldn't even help you. Now, what I will say is Vince said he would have took Morgan to final two, and I do believe he would have. So if he would have been valuable, I think that would have helped. But girl, do something else. Shout out to Jane George. Love you guys. Vince deserved to lose just for that fuck ass finale outfit and that attitude. Ooh, clock it. Feeling. Yes, Jane. Khalil says, shout out to Khalil.
Shout out to Khalil, making it rain.
Thank you, Khalil. Thank you, everybody who's sitting in the funds because, baby, we broke. We're unemployed. And, you know, why did I have to just vote for? Anyways, this is a Black podcast. These are my dues for watching a Black woman win this game for 2 seasons. Bro, 2 seasons in a row is crazy.
Black to back. Okay.
Black to back.
I'm living for it. This is you go.
The first time that what you was finna say?
Women have won back to back since BB3 and BB4.
Damn.
I thought I broke up.
No, I heard you. I was just like, damn, that's true. It's funny because we talked about it, but I could have sworn I was like, well, no, it wasn't the case. No, this was the first time since BB3 and BB4. And we're back. BB23. No, what is this? BB26, 27? BB26, 27. Okay. We're here.
Yeah, and I was tweeting about that too. Like the parallels are so funny because last season we had the Mackenzie Chelsea move, which is so reminiscent of the Derek and Cody move, and then this year we have the Vanessa, the Vanessa Steve kind of with Ashley and Morgan, in my opinion. Excuse me. So I was like, "Child, is next season finna give? Are we finna get I don't know, a returnee season with a returnee winner, bitch? Like, what is it finna give?"
Was that mastermind gimmick hinting at some returnees again, or what's tea on that? Because I know they love after they bring Rachel Rylie back to start a returnee season brouhaha, because that's exactly what happened after 12. 13 was attorneys, 14 was attorneys, 15 was Alyssa, 16 was Frankie Grande. Bitch, they was gonna have somebody in that house. 17 was Jackie and Jeff, bitch. Like 18 was returnees again, bitch. 19 was Paul, bitch. Like they were gonna bring them back.
It starting again. I can see it starting again. Like they had higher ratings this season because of I would say Rachel's a big part of that. Yeah. And they used so many of their returning players this season. I would not be surprised if next season is a returnee season.
Yeah, I agree. He said, I cried, I laughed, I died, I came back, and I'm so proud of Ashley Hollis Moses. Not Ashley Hollis Moses.
Period.
Steve too. I feel like Steve don't get enough credit because did he snipe? And this is the game. I think these games with Ashley and Steve, I would both put them middle tier because it's kind of like, you know, you took out the baddest bitch. Congratulations. But the baddest bitch was still that other bitch. You know, it wasn't like Vanessa was still the baddest bitch. You know what I mean? And I think that's why both of them are middle tier. And he probably doesn't get as much recognition. But Steve ate that shit up. I'll give him that. Shout out to Rylie.
Yeah, I'm excited to do another winner rank.
Ooh, that would be nice. We should do one for 30, I feel. Because it's 27. 29, 30. We'll have like 5, 6 more winners. Thanks for a fun season. Love your updates. Go, Ashley. Thank you. Y'all see how the people who attach themselves to a man lost. Wow, Ashley attached herself to a winner, a woman, and won.
Period.
But, no, honestly, she was Rachel's closest ally. And Rachel kept saying, why wouldn't you want to work with a winner? Don't you think that would help you win? And Keanu, look at you.
And I mean, and that's the thing. Now that we're here, Rachel was definitely the sacrificial lamb. She was.
Yeah, we needed her to bow out for Ashley to win. Wow. Derek Johnson says, you both turn enemies to friends and friends into besties. Love you both. Oh, thank you. Total Drama Simmer says, the worst part is, in my opinion, he could have played a good game, but he constantly sabotaged himself numerous times, lied too much, and denied his game. Girl, so bad. Lee, I have to bow down to a goddess.
Hey,
being the goddess. Lee, for the first time in TRK draft history, had the very first draft win the motherfucking season.
Hey. Is this the first time confirmed? Did you look that up?
This is the first time confirmed. We don't have to look it up because I used to draft first every single time, and I lost until Rachel, who was my second, Chelsea, who was my second. Ashley was the first.
She was the first person picked, and she won the entire game.
She won the entire game.
I know that's right. I ate that up.
I need to put her on your side. The kingdom did win.
The fuck up, bitch.
Ashley, you know what's crazy? Like, you, first of all, this is like, yo, what, 15th? You know.
This is my.
Here he go. Let me let him count, y'all. Y'all know he.
I think it's my 12th win.
Okay, period. And I got 2.
It's 12-2.
Y'all, I'm back to flopping because I don't think I'm winning Survivor because I think certain people are winning. I could be wrong about that. And Lee just got it on here. My only chance was Morgan, and she flopped. Yeah. Like, she played me. Like, I was rooting for her. I did not think I was gonna do it this time. I was convinced like the last week that Morgan was just winning. Yeah, same. Everybody was. In my defense, I would have picked Ashley first, but I didn't get first pick, so I guess no defense there. Delta Diva says, "Congrats, Lee." Period. Yeah, Lee.
Tea that Ashley posted on Instagram.
Girl, I saw somebody say there was tea. What's the tea?
Girl, so let's play this reel that Ashley posted about Vince on Instagram. I'm gonna play it. Hold on.
Girl.
Why is she getting carried to these? Ashley doesn't know what the fuck is going on. She doesn't know which way is up. Why does she get to get carried? Alliance, we are not going to talk about Ashley, but she knows so much more than you give her credit for. And frankly, it's actually, it's. That's why I hate that she's even come this far. She does not deserve to be here.
Not the compilation.
She does not know how to. She's played a terrible. She has a non-existent game. All she does is talk shit and just cling to people and get carried.
This is a compilation of Vince dragging Ashley on the
Big Brother. Perfect. That's what she's doing. Do this. Do nothing. Excellent. Let's reward you with jury.
So she posted that compilation and captioned. There's truly no better feeling than beating an unemployed crybaby in 6-1 vote. Woo! Should have gotten me out week 1, babes. Oh wait, you failed at that because I won the power veto and took myself off the block. Hashtag it's quiet, ain't no back talk. Hashtag VB27. Hashtag Team Ashley.
Hashtag
Diva.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. You know who would be a great fucking friend? Morgan. The way she gathered that nigga, she said, "You're not gonna talk about Ashley that way. That's what you're not gonna do."
That one.
Okay, she's done way more than you give her credit for, bitch. She didn't say that, but she damn near did. Like, that's a motherfucking queen.
Which even that is a testament to Ashley's game, because Morgan was someone who said the same things a little bit towards the more beginning of the game, but as Ashley started speaking to Morgan more, she was like, "No, Ashley's playing this game."
Yeah. And Lauren said that too.
Lauren said that as well. Kelley, Keanu said that.
Keanu, yeah.
And Vince said that he respected her game by the end of it, and he probably would definitely say that now that she on his ass. But they respected her game by the end of it while disrespecting her towards the early bits of the season. So it just goes to show what a social game can do if you're actively playing it, actively using it. It's so much more impressive to me when you can go in with a disadvantage in the social aspect of the game and still work your way to the top, because it's so easy to come in as the conventionally attractive person, as the person that can win competitions, as the person that people, you know, easily gravitate towards. It's harder to be almost ostracized in that first week to winning the entire game.
Exactly. All right, y'all. It's t-shirt time, bitch.
T-shirt time.
It's time to rate these players. I'm about to close the polls now. If you didn't get it in, baby. Ooh, somebody just got it in. If you didn't get it in, baby.
I was seeing some of the answers. I was like, now some of y'all is trolling.
Girl, and that is why I will be averaging on Google Sheets all of the scores. We will be getting an average of everybody's player rating right motherfucking
You could do that on Google Sheets? I didn't see that.
There's literally a link on the Google form that says view in sheets, and then you click that, and then it gives you the average. Period. All right, y'all. I have it here. I have the results. So first, of course, on the top was our very last week of our player rating so far. Moving forward, we're going to decide if we want to change or keep what we have so far for their player ratings. Starting off with Zay. Lee, you gave Zay a 3. Is it giving a 3?
Yeah, and that's why I like doing these final player ratings, because at the time when someone goes home, especially week 1, it's like, how do you really rate them? A lot of times when people go home this early, it's not a lot of their own doing. But from what we received in Zay to what we have now, I'm just like, Like, I don't believe Zay would have had the chops to be able to make it to the end of this game. He also wasn't the hugest fan himself. I'll give him the 2 because he was the first boot, and there was a lot of circumstances that went into him being that first boot, but he was never really, you know, in my opinion, that savvy enough to be able to go that far anyway.
Yeah, I actually...
And he went against the queen and got beheaded.
He went against the queen and got beheaded. You're spilling. I think I would also bring Zay down to the... Actually, I would bring Zay down to the 2.5. So I would also drop him that by a score. I would bring him down to the 2.5. I agree with what you're saying. I think at the time it was kind of hard to understand. I hate first boots because I feel like with first boots, it's like, are you actually what you need to be or not? I don't know. But I think it's accurate. I think for him, I would give him the 2. And the Kingdom, the 2.5. The Kingdom has given him a 2 overall on average. So they agree with Lee. Zay is getting a 2. Next, we have Amy. I gave Amy a 2. I'm going to keep Amy at the 2.
I agree with keeping Amy at the 2. I think one of the reasons why I'm not giving her lower is because she was able to get a group of people that was going to bat for her. I would argue if Jimmy was not the HOH, Amy would not have even went home at the place she did go home. But similar to Zay in the sense that, like, I don't think she had the chops to make it that far in the game, but I do think she went home because of certain circumstances. But from what we saw in the time she was there, I'm not that high on her as an overall player.
Yeah, I agree. The Kingdom has given Amy a 2 as well.
Period.
No, that's right. Next, we have Adrian. Lee, you gave Adrian a 2. I gave that man a 1. I was mad at him. What the fuck? You gave Adrian a 2. What do you think of Adrian?
If I'm being honest, I'm looking at it. I think I want to give him a 1.5. I just feel like with
Damn.
Adrian, he couldn't even garner a alliance that wanted to keep him safe. The week he went home, yes, it was circumstances that didn't make sense. You know, Lauren taking him out was not smart for her game, but he had a little bit more control over that. Like Zay was going up against Vince, where Vince is a pussy that was not gonna go against the majority of the house at the time, and he was an easy nom. And then Amy was dealing with Jimmy, someone who was very hard headed and had to make like 10 nominations in 1 week. Adrian could have spoken to Lauren and really convinced her because he was good for her game. Yet he spent the time trying to figure out who was lying to him, who was being deceitful in the game. Someone said in the chat he wasn't adaptable. I think that's the best thing I can say about him. He wasn't an adaptable player, and I do feel like if he was to continue in this game, he would not have been able to do much at all.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And I remember that's why I gave him the 1 is because of how poor his performance was on the week leading up to where he went home. It was just terrible. He was not adaptable. Honestly, he was pigeonholed in this weird Kelley, and he doesn't want liars. And people are giving him information. He's running that back to Zach, who doesn't care about him. It was all wrong. And I feel like no matter what type of game he plays, if he plays that way, he's not going to be able to win. The 1 I think at the moment was a little bit. I was just upset. I think I agree with the 1.5. Not that that's much better. I think I agree.
What you gonna give him there,
girl? The Kingdom gave him a 2 overall.
Okay, y'all nice.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. I see him. I see the world where he's what with Amy, but he just like he did negative things actively so many times. I just couldn't do it. Next, we have Jimmy. Now, I gave Jimmy a 4. And honestly, I do think from what we saw in this game, Jimmy was still a 4. I do feel like Jimmy had such strong attributes. I don't think Jimmy ever really wins the game, but I think Jimmy has the capability of creating an alliance, creating a group, creating a structure, gaining allies. And at the end of the day, no matter what, Mickey was incorrect and invalid for doing what she did with her HOH. I think he probably would have made it even farther without that. Well, I mean, definitely would have. But I think he will always fuck his game up, which is why I don't think he's a 5. I don't think he's above this. But I'm going to keep it at the 4, honestly. I am. How you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it at the 4 as well. At the end of the day, I think that he was good socially, but I don't doubt that he would have. I'll give him the 4.5.
Okay.
I'll give him the 4.5. Because I do feel like he is someone that could easily get caught up in the same way that he did, in the sense of like, people aren't really starting to like you. And I could easily see how if anyone that wasn't his own ally won, he still would have been targeted in the same way. It just sucks a little bit more that it was his own ally. I would have loved to see Jimmy maneuver through the game without being taken out by someone on his own team, especially considering how much power they had as a group going forward from that point. But yeah, I'll give him the 4.5. I think I'm the 0.5 mainly because he was taken out by someone on his own side, and that he was a formidable player in himself. Like, this season was very chaotic, and I do think if Jimmy wasn't taken out by Mickey, he could have made it a little bit further because he was still active. That was the main superpower for Jimmy, is how active he was.
Now, Lee, the Kingdom, they not fucking with Jimmy.
Ooh,
they gave Jimmy a 2.5.
Child.
Yeah, girl. They not fucking with it.
Y'all real.
Zach is next. I gave Zach a 3, and it was because that fuck ass power that he didn't use. He went home where it's like you really shouldn't have. He was very inactive. He was letting all his allies go home. I'm gonna stick with the 3. I think that he has natural qualities that help him, but overall, I don't think that he would. I think he would continuously make these same mistakes. I do think he can make it further in other seasons due to those qualities, but not due to his own gameplay. His gameplay is not good. What do you think?
I agree. At the end of the day, he's someone that is like naturally likable and you can assume could win competition, so people easily gravitate towards him. But as far as really staking a claim for himself in the game. We never really saw him do, especially with the big game he talked preseason. I'm actually shocked we didn't see him do that more. In general, I do feel like he's someone that would consistently get caught up in not being able to make moves for himself, similar to Vince. Like, I think if Vince stayed in the game longer, if Zach stayed in the game longer, he would be very similar to Vince in the way he was able to get manipulated and kind of pushed to do certain things that probably shouldn't have done, which is, in my opinion, showcased by the fact that he did not use that veto on himself. He was kind of so cocky in a sense and so complacent that he didn't think he had to do a move like that, which eventually got him sent home. So I agree with the 3.
Yeah. The Kingdom, a little higher than us. They gave Zach a 3.5.
Okay.
Right. I guess they think he looks good. Zach is next. No, he's not. Rylie is next. See, I want to just skip over this, man. Lee, thoughts on Rylie? You gave him
you know how they was trolling with that Rylie vote. I said, y'all playing the game. Y'all playing
Girl.
the game. But with Rylie, there's not much to say. I gave him the 1. I think I'm going to stick with that 1. He wasn't playing the game. He wasn't a fan of the game. He was actively involved with Catherine, whatever Catherine was doing. There was a group of people who was kind of, aligned with him, but they never solidified a group at all. He never pushed out to solidify that group at all. The reason why he went home is a big factor as to why he went home is because he was not having an active social game at all. He didn't want to be involved in alliance conversations. He actively told people not to involve him in those type of conversations. He was so busy trying to control every minute move that Catherine did that he wasn't making any moves of his own. Literally the same week he went home was because he told Lauren to use the veto, which caused him to go up and eventually go home. It was bad. The only thing that could have saved him from going home was winning that blockbuster. He didn't, so he went home.
Yeah, he truly was negative. He was truly bad at every single aspect of his game, down to Mickey taking his HOH, and everyone knew it was Mickey and told him it was Mickey, and he still didn't choose Mickey. Like, you suck. It's gonna stay a 1. Now, the Kingdom was trolling, and they were giving the size that they think his penis might be, which might be accurate. So that did skew some of the votes, but it still ended up rounding out to a 4. After that, Kingdom, next time, keep your brains out the gutter. You're on mute.
We finna take y'all voting privileges away because what's going on?
Y'all
see how we tried to give y'all privileges and y'all up here trolling.
Y'all don't know how to act. Why is he a 4? And I'm gonna keep that 4 for everybody part of the Kingdom to look at.
Are the zeros counting in the average?
They are.
Yeah.
So many people. Actually, do you want me to count how many people gave him an 8? Talking about that dick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Child, we got some
zeros are what's keeping him not at an 8. But we move. Next. Y'all
where are the secret Rylie stands in the chat? Show yourself.
Or is there secret Rylie stands? Or is it Mickey sending in multiple votes? Anyways, next is Kat. Girl, there's nothing for me to say. I gave her the 1 and I stand by the 1. Even 1 seems generous. She quite literally did nothing. 1. Lee.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 at the time. I'm gonna give it a 1.5. Quite literally didn't do anything at all. Yeah, I don't even have any thoughts. I don't have any thoughts.
I can't even say anything. A part of me wants to give her the 0.5 because what I will say is that I don't think she did well. There wasn't a lot that she did that was like actively fucking her game up. Like, I feel like other people like were winning vetoes and not using it on themselves and like refusing to be. No, she didn't do anything. 1. What the fuck am I talking about? Next. The Kingdom gave her a 2.5 overall. Maybe they did just like Rylie. Because why are you giving Kat a 2.5? Y'all very nice over here. Do y'all forget where y'all are at? All right, Mickey Mouse is next. Lee, you gave Mickey a 3 overall. How you feeling on that?
I think I stand by the 3 because she was a really a formidable, I think, presence in the game at the beginning of the season. It wasn't until the Mictator reign started that really started to like topple her. But even then, she was able to win a few clutch competitions. The house was getting set up in a way to where if she was able to finagle a little bit 1 or 2 more rounds, she could have been fully insulated back into the center of that group. It's just that when she ruined her social connections, that stayed, and she would have had to do so much work to get out of the hole she dug for herself, and she just didn't have the time simply. And by the time she got to that point, she was actively having these strategic conversations with people, but because people had already disliked her, it just made them dislike her even more. I do think there's a lot of potential within Mickey, and if she didn't, if for lack of better words, have this ego, I think when it comes to making decisions in the game, she would have been able to make it really far and even won herself. It's just clearly there's a big barrier with her when it comes to like the ego. No shade.
Yeah, her dick is too huge. Like she want to fling her dick around and show the world. Like she is very proud of herself. Very proud of herself. And I think that pride is always going to get in the way. I have to bring her down to the 3. It was to the point where they were trying to work with her and they couldn't. Like they were still trying to a little bit. And they were like, well, we kind of need her a little bit. But then she would still say shit. And then Ashley would be like, this girl is still being weird. Like, God damn it. Morgan was like, damn, now I got to evict her. Because like literally the reason she went home on Vince's HOH is because Morgan was against her and Morgan ran that HOH and was like, she got to go because she keeps talking shit about me. Like she ruins her own game. It's a 3. The Kingdom has given her a 4 overall. Yeah, they feel a little bit better. They feel a little good about Mickey. They feel a little good about her. Next is Rachel Rylie. Damn, she went home so early, it seems.
That's so crazy because all the people who went home after her happened within like what 2 weeks.
Literally, bitch. Rachel, I gave a 7.5. We obviously don't know how her game would have resulted. We don't know what would have occurred when it comes to the actual end game of the season. I do think she maybe could have survived 1 or 2 more rounds, but I think her time was coming to a close soon due to her prowess, like who she was, her energy. But she played a phenomenal game. She was unnominated. She made it all the way to that point with a majority alliance in the judges where it was honestly they were going to be loyal to it. Like Morgan ran Vince's two other HOHs in this point, and she would have told him to stay loyal to the judges, and I'm Keanu, Kelley, and Lauren, and his ass would have did it, as we see. And Ava, he would put up Ava too. He doesn't like her, so I do think she would have been safe during Vince's HOHs. She probably would have been safe during 1 or 2 of Morgan's. It's just Lauren's where it's like, your ass would have been on the block. Your ass probably could have went home the next week. It's like, if she would have made it past the hump, I think she could have made it to like 5, and then Morgan would have said, take that girl out. But still very deep, still very strategic, still great game. And I think all of the reasons why she's a target also has to do with, who she is. So it's like it's hard. I think a part of me wants to just keep it at the 7.5, or maybe the 7, maybe just the 7 because we just don't know. Shit, I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna do the 7, Lee.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the 7 as well. And y'all, I know some of y'all love Rachel. And y'all love Ashley, and y'all love the girls, but no one's gonna get that high of a score for me this season, unfortunately. Child, child.
Who that girl?
It's some people in enemy territory in the chat.
They in there saying what they saying? They calling us what?
No, they just spamming BS. With Rachel, I give it a 7. I hate that we were not able to see how her game would have ended. I do think I could have seen myself giving her a higher score, but I do feel like up to the point that she went home, I think a 7 is a strong score for her. I think that she did make certain mistakes in the game. However, her game was still very strong. Being unnominated for that long is impressive. Being able to create an alliance that was loyal to her and her people and to each other, which that strength led to the judges and then led to the final 3 being all judges, really impressive. And I think honestly, Rachel stems from that. A lot of that stems from Rachel being within the game. So that's really impressive. I just think that overall, this was one of her best performances as a player within Big Brother, and I would have loved to see her have just a little bit more influence in the game. I believe I'm going to give my highest score to one specific person. And it's just not going to be Rachel. And I feel like it's because of what we were able to see. Because we were not able to see more game from her, I feel like I can't be that high, unfortunately.
That's real. The Kingdom. What do you think the Kingdom gave her?
I don't know.
They're very high on Rachel.
Oh, probably a 10, 9, 10.
There was a lot of 10s, and it averaged out to a 9 for Rachel Rylie.
Hey, that's y'all girl. That's y'all queen. That's y'all girl.
Honestly, this is what I will say. Because she did not get evicted, I can't say that that's not fair. She literally was nominated the entire season and never got evicted. It's like, hey, give her what you got to give her, honestly. Will is next. I gave Will a 5. I'm sticking to the 5. I think Will is very good socially, but not active strategically. It's to where his social game is good enough to where he could be a 7 off social game alone, maybe even an 8 off social game alone. But he's so unstrategic that it brings him down 3, 4, to 5. Not, that's why he goes all the way down to a 5. I think 5 is crazy considering how capable he could be. He has so much potential, but he also gets this like weird woe is me kind of thing that Vince has, where he's like feels sorry for himself at times and he gives up. And then he also, on the other hand, is not actively strategically, similar to Vince as well, not to just compare the two, but he's just not active strategically. He kind of just lets people do their own thing, and that fucks him up as well. So all these things bring him down. Like, he could be a high caliber player, and then he doesn't do the right thing. So that's why he lands at a 5 for me, personally.
I agree with everything you said. I'm so sorry. I really enjoy Will, though. Like, he's such a breath of fresh air. I feel like for representation on this show, like the fact that he was so comfortable working with all of these women and he saw them as true assets and allies in this game. He wasn't focused with trying to go to who he thought had the more masculine gameplay, so to speak, or who was winning these competitions. Like, he loved his girls. Like, he was true. Like, we kept calling it the Will's Daughters Alliance for the longest because he loved these girls. He cared about them. The main reason why he kept like saying things to one person's face and saying one to another is because he truly wanted to work with all of them. He just wanted to get this shit together, but he didn't want to be too involved in it. I think Will, the fact that Ashley won this season, y'all realize we could be looking at Will as a potential winner this season.
Yeah,
like,
and
I truly think Will is someone that could have won this game if he was more active in it. If even the week he went home over Ashley, if he spoke up and fought for those votes, he could have stayed in this game. He could have been in the final 3. Like you said, he kind of had those moments sometimes where he have events where it was like he would feel sorry for himself and he would kind of give up. And I hated that, because if he didn't do that, Will really could have been a higher tier potential winner.
He's too laissez-faire. Like, baby, this is Big Brother. Why are you chill? The Kingdom hates Will. No,
really?
I'm kidding. But they don't agree with us on none of these motherfucking ratings. They gave Will a 4. Barely. Also, he almost was a 3.5 fucking with them. But they gave Will a 4 overall. Kelley, bitch, 0. Lee?
No thoughts.
All right. The Kingdom gave her a 1. Shout out to
somebody. Gotta give her something.
Somebody got to give her something. Okay. Lauren. All right. Your girl, your body, you gave her a 3. Do you want to change that?
Based on who I gave a 3 to, I'm going to keep her at the 3. I think that while we did see a lot of passiveness from Lauren, based on her position in the game, I do think she's someone that could get into that position again if she played, if she had a little bit more experience, maybe a little bit less biases as to who she wanted to work with. Maybe she could have been more successful because she had the competition ability. She had the likable personality. She just wasn't using it. And I do think a lot of that does come with age. She needs to grow up a lot in a lot of different aspects of her life. And I think she'll be able to use that confidence to be able to make her a really good player. And I think that's the main problem. A lot of times when they cast archetypes like Lauren, it is in the Haley Brooker, her age group, where it's like, you're gorgeous and you're likely on the show because you are gorgeous, but are you going to be able to win it? And a lot of times, because they don't have that experience, that they're likely never going to be able to win. I think Lauren had good moments here and there as far as like trying to find a place to where she fit into the season. It's just when she found that place, which I would say she did successfully, she even got insulated in it. But they didn't do the moves to make sure that their group could stay intact and together moving forward, with like moves like taking out Adrian, using the veto on Vince and allowing Rylie to go home. Like there were multiple times in this season where she herself, like Vince, was just pushed to do other people's decisions, and hey, girl, I can't respect it.
Yeah. And this is a good moment for the girls who are new here. Y'all better subscribe and be here next season, because some of the people in the comments, y'all don't know the tea we've been talking. Y'all are like, wait, but Will did do this. Wait, but Lauren had that. We've talked in depth about a lot of the moves. We went over the live feed recaps every single week. Y'all need to be here, honey, because these are just our general quick statements of shit we've been talking about for 3 months. Girl, get into the tea. Y'all better get into that. Lauren, I agree with the 3. Can't move her up. Sorry. But Lee, the Kingdom, said Lauren is the best player of the season.
What?
They gave Lauren a 4.5.
Child.
Overall. Y'all better watch it.
That's the thing. Tito said,
Lauren is watching Will. They said Lauren is watching. Yes, honey.
Girl, either someone hacked the systems or the people typing in the chat, y'all just a loud minority.
Baby, it was a Rylie /Cat /Lauren stand that came in there and filled in some places.
Gotta be. Bitch, we had over 100 people vote. That's why I'm like, I don't think
150.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't think it was that rigged. I just think
like they dead ass felt this.
Shit, okay.
Keanu. Damn, that's why they be in the chat eating us up every motherfucking day. Like, y'all said because they don't be agreeing with us, bitch. We be wrong as fuck. All right, that's Keanu is now. Oh my god. I just saw Keanu.
What would you do theirs first? What was theirs first?
The Kingdom has rated King Keanu, tied with Lauren, a 4.5. The 2 second best players after Rachel Riley. They said Rachel Riley's the best, and then Keanu and Lauren are right after her. Yes, honey. I guess they said big gap. I ain't gonna play them. They said Rachel, big gap. Keanu and Lauren, honey.
What was happening?
Damn. Anyways, I gave him the 1. You know what I was finna say? I'm finna move him up for the 2 for voting for Ashley. No shit. You might get a 2 for voting right. Wait. Because who got a 2? I could give him a 2 for voting right. You above Rylie for that. I can't do the 2. I'll get a 1.5. Lee.
I gave him the 1.
I
agree with the 1.5 mainly because he can win those competitions. And he's a pretty active player overall.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Let me see. I'll give him the 2, actually.
Okay, yes.
He's a fairly active player, even if it isn't successful. He is a pretty active player, and I do think that helps people regardless of the type of player that they are. And they are also, he is able to win competitions, which got him pretty far this season, especially with the blockbuster being in play. And which we kind of have to take that into effect because that's going to be a new thing going forward. So I didn't like Keanu, and the 2 is definitely not that high. I just don't think that he's the worst on the board, unfortunately.
Yeah. I can give him the 2 too. Yay. Let's do that. Ooh, I don't fuck with Ava. We haven't rated Ava overall just yet. Lee, what would you rate Ava as an overall player?
Ava as an overall player, I feel like Ava is similar to Will in the sense that her sociability is good to the fact that like no one wants to target them. Everyone wants to like use them and want to work with them. And I do think Ava, while she had little strategy, I think that was part of her strategy, the sense of trying to make everyone like her and not want to go after her and not make as many enemies as possible, you know? And she did a pretty good job of doing so. Like the reason why she went home wasn't because people disliked her. It was because of people were playing the game harder than her, if we're being honest. She was not included in the Judges Alliance. She had no final end game with Vince, Morgan, or Ashley. She did have one brewing with Ashley, but they weren't able to win those comps. So
she wasn't able to win them comps. Ashley won her HOH.
But I'm saying even at the time where both
I
her
know.
and so that's her main issue. And I remember saying in the podcast a while back, I could see her and Will being the Chemo Rubina, where it's like no one's really going after you because you're not really a threat, and then you get to the end and you just lose. Ava, I do think there was a path for her to win this game, sitting next to certain people. It's just the competition didn't go her way, and she did not make the active social moves to be able to even get taken to a final two, which I think she could have been if she was actively working her social game, which she was not. She was more so just liked as a person and not pissing people off. So I think because of that, I'm gonna just be slightly lower than the 5 and give her the 4.5, because Will, while he wasn't always active, he had those little spurts of moments that got him into certain end games and alliances with people, whereas Ava really didn't have that. So I'll just drop it to the 4, because there was a lack of strategic that I did not like on her as well. But I think 4 on positioning alone, I feel like most times she plays Big Brother, she could go this far.
I agree with the 4. I was thinking the 4 the whole time. I think she is not active enough at all, but she's very well like socially. She has the upside of Will, but the downside of kind of like a little bit. Look, honestly, she's kind of like Will in a lot of ways, because she's also very not active, but she's very social. I just think her socialness does not usually provide the access to allegiances. I think Will is social and agreeable, so he'll agree with what you're saying. He'll go along with what you're saying. Ava's social, but she'll stand on her point, and I think that limits people from bringing her into groups. She wasn't in the judges because she's too busy sleeping and saying, I'm not going to talk game this week, and I'm not going to do this right now. And then later on, she'll talk game, but it's too late. Will is always actively available, and I think that's always going to help him a little more, but I do think they're comparable. But I would just put her at a 4 because she just isn't available all the time. You got to catch Ava when you can. You got to catch her at the right moment, then she'll talk game. If you pull her to the storage room, she might get your ass out at the wheel because she's voting Vince at the wheel. Shit like that. You're too wishy-washy, queen. The kingdom has given Ava. What did they give Ava? A 4 as well. Wait, we finally on the same motherfucking time, niggas. Where y'all been at? Y'all was tripping at first. All right, next we got More God. So More God. Last week I gave her a 10, honey. I thought that girl was finna win, honey, and then she lost, honey. But I do think Morgan really, really executed this entire end game flawlessly. And I remember the reason I gave her the 10 was not just because of that week. It was because of the double eviction, which we never got to rate. I think the double eviction was extremely impressive for her. I think her convincing Vince on all 4 of his HOHs and Mickey on her HOH to do exactly what she wanted them to do was extremely effective. Only top tier Big Brother players can do that. I genuinely will say, and according to this ratings, you can tell that Morgan is one of the maybe 2 or 3 people who I genuinely consider a good player in this cast. I think Morgan can do good in a lot of casts. Similar to Vanessa, if she was on BB17, I think she probably would have made it to final 3 and got 3rd, just like Vanessa did. I think Morgan can genuinely do good in a lot of these seasons because of how active she is and how stern she is on what she wants. You'd think she'd be the type of girl who is under a man, is going to do what a man wants, but by the end of the season, she proved that's not the case. Although she was up under Zach, lusting over him for weeks, she voted that man out, which is crazy because the way she was lusting over I thought she was a lost cause. I was wrong. She's not that type of person. She's going to do what she wants to do. And not only that, she had Zach and Vince voting with her at that pre-jury. They evicted Adrian just like she evicted Adrian, bitch. They evicted Zay just like she evicted Zay, bitch. And then as soon as Zach went home, she ran Vince. She is an incredible player. I think I definitely have to give her, not her 10s, but I'm going to give her an 8. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give her an 8. I think she ate this season up. She surprised me when she shouldn't have. She's great at the competitions at the end game. She survived the vote next to Rylie. Like, this girl, she ate that up. Lee, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. I think to me, I would just give it the 7.5. I do feel like if she were to win, a lot of times with me, a win really helps boost them because this is like a single season type of rating. And because she couldn't clutch the win, I do want to set out a 7.5. I think that she was very effective in this game, but to fully be at like an 8 or higher for me, unless you're like fully changing the trajectory of how Big Brother is played, like a Danielle Reyes, I can't go 8 or higher. I feel like because this might be a simple way of thinking, but if you were the 8 or higher, you would have won the game. I don't know, but in general, she's probably going to be she is going to be my highest rated player of the night because I respect her game the most. I respect a very dominant game. I love when someone has an agenda and are able to control people into making the agenda theirs as well. A lot of the reason why even Ashley was in the end game, not only because of her own social game, because Ashley worked to make sure Morgan was one of her number ones in the game, but because Morgan had that influence over Vince. She was telling Vince not to touch Ashley, and he did not, So that's the thing. She kind of got her ender to the end. Should have did that. But it's like a lot of this end game she created. She kind of crafted this end game, and it's the end game that she wanted, and she put the will and the hard work to get there. So I really appreciate her game.
I agree. The Kingdom has given Morgan an 8.5. They was feeling it, honey. Y'all be getting a little too trigger happy. Vince, second place. Lee, what do you feel about Vince?
Vince is so weird because I'm like, a part of me wants to put him at the lower end of the spectrum because he got ran like a dog, and pushed and pulled around. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I said earlier in the podcast, Vince is someone who I think could always make fun to every single time he plays, just the type of person that he is. And I do think in some of those universes where he does, he could win. He could win. And that's why I'm iffy on him, because I believe that his social ability, his ability to get people to like him, to want to work with him, to continue to trust him even when he turns on them, that sociability is high. And it's active sociability at that. It's not just that people like him. Like, he makes people endear to him. He makes people feel sorry for him. He makes people want to protect him. So that's something even Morgan was doing throughout the game a lot. A lot of people were doing things to protect him. Lauren, Keanu, things like that. Honestly, why did he say any of this? Why am I saying it? He didn't say it. But, and that's really, really impressive. It's just that the negatives is the fact that he was ran, the fact that for a large portion of the game, he was not making any decision that actually helped himself. For the large portion of the game, he was being used by a side of the game that didn't even vote him at the end of the game. But he was always going to be in that end game. No matter what side he chose, no matter what move he made, he probably was always going to be in the end. But at the same time, does he get the win? Like, if he plays 100 times and gets to the end 100 times, like, does he win majority of those times? I don't know, because he's not someone to be respected. And this may be a too high of a score. This might be too high of a score. But I want to stand on it.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I don't know. I know from our BB Rewind, I've given a lot of the same archetype a 6. And I'm like, thinking about it, I want to give him a 5.5. But I'm like, I think he's just a 6. I think I want to do the 6.
And you know what's crazy? I think I might be even higher than you.
Damn.
Yeah, I do think so. I kind of like thinking about his game. I kind of think it's impressive because when he would like vote against his side, like you said, he was actively like doing. He didn't just miraculously have them trust him again. Like kind of like with Matt, other people in his archetype, Tyler, Matt, and stuff. People would just trust him just because after they would turn on them. Tyler didn't vote with Falte the entire season. They just trusted him. Vince went to Kelley and Keanu and made them rework with him. I don't know. It's just he does things. He does things. So for me, I think I'm landing on a 6.5. This is actually a very hard one. I'm not gonna lie. It might just be a 6. Might just be a 6. No, I think I'm landing on a 6.5. I think I am landing on a 6.5 because I feel like with Vince, he's actively doing this think he's enhancing his normal personality actively, which usually his archetype just is that. They just are that, and I feel like that's enough for a 6. But the fact that he's purposefully doing it, it just feels more impressive. He's convincing Lauren to use the veto on him, knowing that's gonna fuck her game up. He's convincing Morgan to use the veto on him instead of herself, knowing that's gonna fuck up her game. Like that's something that's sinister in a good way for Big Brother. Whereas if there's another season and his ally is on the block next to him and he asked them to use the veto on him, he would still do that. He would still ask them, and eventually it will literally happen. They will. Morgan was this close to vetoing him over her. It's just like, that is what's pushing me to the 0.5 personally, although he's not that girl, because truly he should be an 8.5. He should be a 9.5 with all of the power he's had with those comps. He's not that girl. He's just, to me, upper middle. He's upper middle, like the peak of middle, in my opinion, which is for me 6.5. The Kingdom, which I haven't even looked. What did they give him? Has given Vince a 5 overall. They're not fucking with Vince. Oop. They're not fucking with Vince.
That's fair. I think I would not put him below a 5 or higher. Under a 6. I think a 6.5 a little high too, but 5-6 I agree with. Now, last and most, Ashley motherfucking Hollis. We're gonna save the Kingdom for last. I know they gave her a 10, bitch.
The Kingdom for last, but Ashley motherfucking Hollis. I can go first on Ashley. I love Ashley down. I think she is a very scrappy winner. She's scrappy. She's a very scrappy winner. She really ate this up. The fact that she won this game is extremely impressive. The entire season, I would always say, everyone would always talk about how smart she is, how great her reads are. Her reads were incredible the entire season. She knew exactly where everyone was positioned, exactly what everyone's perspective was. Every once in a while, I'd be like, oh, you're kind of off. But she was the most inclined about every single person's perspective throughout the season. And for a while, I was like, what are you doing with this information? What are you going to do about it? And I do feel like she laid back a little bit. She said to the cameras, I'm going to wait till jury. She talked about that. She was laying back in the backgrounds, and then she pulled it out at the end game, and she started getting strategic, and she snuck up and she ate this shit up. She made Keanu save her. She made Morgan choose her. Like, she did so much intricate little work, puppet mastery type of work to make sure she made it in the end game. It really is comparable to Will. We went over our Big Brother 2 recap for the BB Rewind. Will was booty hole shit at the beginning of that game. He wasn't talking to anyone. He was just kikiing with his friends. And then when he latched on to Nicole Shafford, aka Morgan, and I would compare Morgan a little bit to Nicole Shafford as well. Very dominant. But anyways, when he latched on to Nicole Shafford, aka Morgan, he literally used her all the way to the end of the game, and that's exactly what Ashley did. It's very impressive. I really like her game. I just think that there's a lot of times she could get caught up. There's a lot of seasons where she gets sent home. There's a lot of times where she might annoy someone and it could cause her to get in a lot of trouble. I do think every Big Brother player, every Big Brother winner has the perfect cast for them. I think this was a great cast for Ashley to succeed, but in a lot of different situations, it's difficult to win with this game. This is not an easy game to win, which is why it's impressive, but it's also risky. I think in the future, Ashley could get caught up playing this exact same game. I don't think it always works. So that's why I'm like, it's not a 10 for me. I know y'all love her. It's not a 10 for me. I think there's a lot of risk. She could have went home a lot of times for me, but still extremely impressive. She's still very smart. I have to give Ashley, I'm gonna give her a 7. I know some of the girls might be like, you're a little low. I'm gonna give her a 7 overall. I think she's a great player, very scrappy, very intelligent. She won, but this is a risky game, and I think it doesn't work all the time. Lee, how you feeling?
Girl, I thought the girl's gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad because I agree with the 7. I agree with the 7, and that's why I said Morgan is my highest score of the night. She's a 0.5 higher, mainly just because I feel like the level of strategy as a whole, this cast was low, and I do think that there's a skew. There's a skew every season with it. And I do think that this is kind of where it ends up. I think that she is a good scrappy player. I think she's a very intelligent and smart player. I just think my fear is the consistency in her threat level and the amount of time that she can be safe. I think she did a really good job with this cast, as you said, but there are certain things that scares me about Ashley if she were to, if this is the Ashley that played 100 other times, as a first time player, I could see her being that first vote. If she doesn't win that veto, I could see her being someone that goes pre-jury or something like that. I think that she did so well this season, and I don't think that's an indicator as to her as a player. I just think, like you said, everyone has a different cast, and some people do well in certain casts, some people do well and not other cast. And I've already talked about like what I appreciate in a gamer, which is why my rating puts Morgan as slightly higher, because I respect that type of game a little bit more. But I don't think 7 is a low score. I think that this is a very good score, actually, and I feel like that this shows that she still is one of the best players of this season. Like, I don't just give anybody a 7.
Period. And in our defense, when we did our BB2 rewind, y'all can go back and watch. I believe we both gave Will a 7.5 by the end of that season. We didn't go too high on him because of the lack of control he had. The same reason, literally the same reason. It's like we preferred the more controlling person. We gave Nicole Shaffridge a better score than him because he didn't have control, but he ate it up at the end. So I think it's fair. I think it's consistent. But this is why I think giving the Kingdom a rating is important, because y'all in the chat, y'all a little mad. Don't worry, y'all voted. Remember, the Kingdom has given Ashley Hollis a 9.5, honey.
That's right.
They said, bitch, she's Dan Giesling level. They said, bitch, it's giving Ashley Levasseur Lee Giesling, and I fuck with it down. Thank you, honey.
Period.
Period. Ashley motherfucking Hollis. She is so amazing, y'all. I literally love her so much. One of my favorite winners. Like, literally.
No, definitely one of
maybe my favorite winner. Maybe my favorite winner.
I mean, when we're talking favorite winners, I only started getting favorites in the new era.
Yeah.
So
Taylor Hale
her and Taylor Hale are my 2 favorite winners.
Me too.
History, for sure.
Me too. You know what? My top 3 are just the black women. Chelsea Taylor and Ashley. Okay. Thank you. Next. Let's keep racking them up, girls. All right. Let's put these girlies in order. Boom. The bottom is Kelley. Thank God. Right above Kelley, we have Adrian. Above him, we have Kat. Above her, we have Amy. Above her, we have Rylie. Then Zay. Zay being above all of them is crazy. Then Keanu. Then Zach. Honestly, this is kind of accurate. Then Mickey. Then Lauren, Jimmy, Ava, and our top 5 players of the season are Will at number 5, Vince at number 4, Rachel number 3, Ashley number 2, and Morgan number 1. I actually think this is a very accurate order. The Kingdom had me scared, but I do think it's Morgan, Ashley, Rachel, Vince, Will in that order.
Yeah, the actual score, I will.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that.
In general, I'm trying to be more specific with my final player ratings. Now that we've been doing the BB Rewind, I feel like I have like a set scale.
Yep.
And so like when I was going back and looking at our BB 26, I mean not 26. I think 26 we did fairly okay, but 25, 24. I would change some shit. I would definitely change some shit. So don't nobody go to our other videos and be like,
I'm gonna pull it up right now, bitch.
So
I'm gonna pull it up right now. Because what was we giving in BB 26? What's that T? Lee, what's that T? You win it? You looked at it today? Let me see, girl. Okay.
BB 26, I don't have a lot of qualms with. Like, this was such a weird cast. And a lot of them weren't necessarily playing the best either, necessarily. So I don't really have an issue with 26. I think mainly 25 and 24 I would change on them.
We had them low in 26. Oh my God. I'm like, damn, we was not fucking with them. Damn. T-Core 6.5. I love myself for that. Damn. BB 26 was ass like this, Lee. That's crazy. I know that's right. Y'all. They in the chat. What they saying in the chat? Somebody said they sent a super chat. Oh, shout out to DJ Burnett. One soundboard fun.
Yeah, make it rain. We do need to get a soundboard.
Jersey Shore season 2 for Reality Rewind, baby. If you did not know, in December we will be covering one of these 10 shows. There's a link in the description for you to choose and vote on which show we will be covering. Your vote matters. Send in your vote. Select that link, honey. Okay. 3, motherfucking Ashley is the winner of this season, and the Black excellence is needed. Period. It sure is. I know that's right. Ainsley said, kind of funny that Morgan lost the final HOH on the Lauren question, and Kelley's vote was the one that confirmed Vince lost. The ghost of your past.
Literally.
Karma, bro. One thing Big Brother has taught me is that the universe will reward positivity, honey, because Taylor Hell, amen.
How's she gonna pull up the other two though?
Oh, BB 25. I can. Let me do that.
Well, that's what I say. I said 26. I didn't really have nothing to change on those.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I have them saved, because I had that one saved in this Excel file.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's not there's necessary. It's just when you pulled up 26, I was like, oh,
yeah, that one was fine.
I didn't know you had them.
Yeah, I had. Oh, okay. I don't have 25. I think I started with our rewinds, and that didn't happen until after 25. So I'm gonna start saving them though.
Because I think I want to say I gave Jag a 6.5. I do think that if I'm giving Ashley a 7, I would give him a 7. I think I gave
really.
Yeah, I would.
I don't think we need to do that. But
I mean,
what else?
I really appreciate the control that he had.
Okay.
And then I'm thinking like Taylor, I gave Taylor an 8 at the time. I probably would give Taylor a 7, 7.5. And then I'm trying to remember anything else I gave.
But that makes sense for you, because I gave Morgan the 8 and I gave Taylor the 8, so that's equal. But you gave Morgan the 7.5 and Taylor the 8, so I think it would make more sense to equal them out. That makes sense. Yeah,
it's just like now that I've rated so many people, I'm like, there has to be like a consistent. And certain people, I'm like, I kind of feel like you relate more to this type of player. So definitely check out our rewinds for a little bit more accurate ratings from me. And I think going forward, I'm gonna try to like stay on that BB rewind type of scale.
I know that's right. But yes,
get it confused. Jag a 7. I'm not going down the Jag pipeline.
That was kind of crazy. I'm
not going down the Jag pipeline again.
Okay, we're not gonna do it, but you don't need to change anything. Keep it where we at. All right, y'all. Get into the other shit. Today, we, of course, did our BB live feed recap instead of Survivor Rewind. So tomorrow, we will be back for the episode 2 recap of Survivor Nicaragua. So get into that. And then, of course, on Wednesday, Survivor 49 is back, baby. So get into that. Every Thursday, The Amazing Race is back, baby. So get into that. Every Friday, we will be covering the challenge. I'll be doing episode 9 and 10 because, of course, I missed episode 9. So get into that on Fridays. And then this Sunday, we will be doing our Love is Blind recap, and moving forward from there, I believe we will be moving it to Saturdays. And of course, Big Brother Rewind is coming up very soon. On October 7th will be our first Big Brother 6 Rewind. Bitch, you better be there. Okay.
Or be square.
Or be square. Thank you guys for another beautiful season of Big Brother. We love
this is it.
This is it.
Until next year.
Any final words on BB 27? Until next year.
BB
Rewind. That's why we have the rewind. This isn't it. If you want more Big Brother, watch BB6 with us. Watch the episodes. We will be reading the live feed archives and updating you on the live feeds. How did Maggie manipulate that game, honey? Get into it. Sorry.
Period. Yeah, because
y'all better watch those.
But no, literally, I love this season so much. I think for a minute I was out of it, but in a retrospect, I'm someone where the winner really can change the how I feel about the season at the end game. And I feel like this season as a whole, it had strategy, not the best sometimes, but it had strategy. It had the social. It had interesting characters. It had fights. It had arguments. It had villains. It had so much. It really gave a lot. And I think if it wasn't for the producers, doing the producery things, it would have been a perfect season. But everything happens for a reason. Like someone like Rachel going home, it probably is what needed to have happened for Ashley to win this season. So everything happened for a reason. I really appreciate the season by the end of it. I don't know if I'll still be saying it's my favorite season, because right now I would say I did a ranking on Twitter. 27, 26, 23, 24, 25. Now,
like that.
I remember when I came out of 24, I was kind of higher on it because I love Taylor and I was happy that she won. Now, as you can see, second to last.
Yeah.
So 27 could move, but as of now, staying strong. Staying strong.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it gives me the energy of BB26, where it's like sloppy gameplay, but very active cast, which causes very interesting dynamics. And by the end of the season, I just love to see the dynamics. That's why, unpopular opinion, BB15, when you get into the social dynamics of the season, very interesting. Same with BB21. The way the Majority Alliance broke up and splintered itself, very interesting dynamic. Like I'm someone who really likes to see the social dynamic set apart each season, and I think that we got a really interesting social dynamic this season.
I agree with everything you said. I love this season. On a retrospect, and then we do our retrospective every year later. So next year around this time before BB28, we'll be doing it again. So I'll really know how I feel. But now that we've left off, and I remember I said the winner or the results of the season is going to also impact it, baby. Ashley won. Like if Vince won, I might be like, well, but Ashley won, honey. So I'm loving it. I'm here. I'm excited for BB Rewind. I'm excited for next season, y'all. Y'all better get into it.
TX, are you still accept applications? I just saw today.
Yes, honey. Of course. Send in your applications if you would like to be a part of the motherfucking kingdom. We are hiring 4 applicants to join us to cover these reality shows. Y'all just saw the schedule, baby. We need help. Please apply.
Yeah, that's what's going to be fun next year because y'all, by this time next year, people who only watch us for Big Brother, there's going to be some new faces next year. There's going to be a lot of new faces next year. So definitely tune the fuck in. I mean, get your application in. Maybe you can be one of the girls that the girls are tuning the fuck into.
Amen. All right, y'all. With that, thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, honey. We're out.
Wow.
Bye. Mwah.